A minute, madam. We are streaming on YouTube.
Okay.
Yes, madam. You can start. Okay, madam. You can start.
Okay, madam.
Yeah.
Shall I start, ma'am?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. We are doting daughters. We are sweet sisters. We are cute lovers. We are darling wives. We are caring mothers. We are mentors. We are women, the source of strength. Strong women and gentlemen, a very pleasant morning to one and all. I, Dr. Sia Sultana, Assistant Professor of English, Department of M&H, welcome you all to the two-day international webinar on empowering women, a paradigm shift in 2020, being organized by the Department of Mathematics and...
Gausia, madam, please be a little louder.
Yeah.
Yes, we have joined us now.
Please switch off the microphones. I don't know whose it is.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Continue.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I welcome you all to the two-day international webinar on empowering women, a paradigm shift in NEP 2020, being organized by the Department of Mathematics and Humanities in association with the departments of CSC, IT, and PNC MGIT Hyderabad. Chief guest Dr. Urmila Devi, Additional Secretary UGC, guests of honor Dr. Madhu Parhar, Director Commonwealth of Educational Media Center, Asia, Dr. Beata Bretstenska, former Member of Parliament, Bratislava, Slovakia, and Ms. Madhuri Kalidindi, Director IBM Hyderabad, respected Sri N. Subhash, Secretary and Correspondent, CBES, Dr. K. Jayasankar, Principal, MGIT, Dr. M. Satyanarayan Reddy, Director, AES, MGIT, Dr. M. V. Ramnamurthy, Professor and Head, Department of M&H, Dr. Dr. C.R.K. Reddy, Professor and Head, Department of CSC, Dr. D. Vijay Lakshmi, Professor and Head, Department of IT, Dr. M. Ravichandra, Head, Department of PNC, heads of the other departments of MGIT, invited guests, conveners, co-conveners, technical team, and all the participants. A warm welcome to you all to the inaugural session. As we all know, on 29 July 2020, the Union Cabinet approved new national education policy on the, and the policy accorded top priority by the Government of India. NEP 2020 was previously known as NPE 1986, that is, National Policy on Education. The main focus of the previous policy was regarding access and equity of education. We have indeed come a long way since 1986. However, today it is about access to quality education. That's the main difference. Previously it was access to education, but now it is about quality education, particularly to girls. Here, I would like to take your attention towards the fact that there are 924 women per 1,000 men in India, according to the State of World Population Report 2020 by UNFPA. The same report mentions that there are 46 million missing girls in India due to sex-selective abortions and female feticide. In the area of education too, girls are deprived, denied, and disadvantaged. In a country where the literacy rate is 74.37%, the female literacy rate continues to lag behind, and it is at 53.7%. The girl child faces many layers of impediments in receiving a quality education. So the new policy recognizes these particular barriers of female education and gives the girl child some reason to be hopeful now. It focuses on reducing the disparity of female dropouts in schools. So as the government itself maintains, padega India to tabi to badega India. Hopefully, NEP 2020, India's first education policy of 21st century, could be the ray of hope for the girls' education. So before raising the curtains for the inaugural speeches, I would like to quote an African proverb which says, if you educate a man, you educate an individual. But if you educate a woman, you educate a nation. I now take the proud privilege to invite the most dynamic, diligent, and unflinching personality of MGIT, our beloved principal, Professor K. Jayasankar Garu, who works relentlessly for the betterment and benefit of the institution with his perseverance. Several areas of functional works envisaged and implemented successfully by his untiring efforts. I request Principal Sir to address the virtual gathering. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Gausia, for your encouraging words for tomorrow's work. All the guests, Dr. Urmila Devi Madam, Additional Secretary from UGC, Dr. Beta Bresneska, Member of Parliament, that is Slovakia, Madhuri Kalidindi Garu, Director IBM Hyderabad, Dr. Madhu, Head Asian Commonwealth Learning Center, University of British Columbia, and all other guests who in a short while, Dr. M.V. Ramanamurthy Garu, an unassuming person who encourages all young faculty and other functionaries at MGIT with his hard work. My dear fellow heads of the departments, Professor C.R. Reddy, Dr. D. Vijayalakshmi, Dr. Ravichandra, my dear faculty members who helped in conducting this program, my dear participants.
Hello, I join now.
Welcome, madam. Welcome, madam. Good morning, one and all. And this theme for this webinar, Empowering Women, a Paradigm Shift in NEP 2020, is not only important just because of statistics, what Dr. Gausia has highlighted just now, and also to respect in terms of educating women. And I just want to correct what Dr. Gausia said. Educating a male is only educating the self, but educating a woman helps in educating the family. In turn, obviously, it leads to the progress of the country. Without taking much time, before our guests are going to discuss their views on NEP 2020 in terms of empowering women, I just would like to briefly explain about the institute. It is Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technology, which is one of the premier engineering colleges in the self-financing category in the state of Telangana. And the institute is affiliated to Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University, Hyderabad, and is approved by All India Council for Technical Education. MGIT was established in the year 1997 by the Chaitanya Bharati Educational Society, with a primary objective of imparting value-based education to the present and future generations of our country. The institute is offering 6 UG programs which are accredited 4 times from National Board of Accreditation, New Delhi, and we have another 5 programs which are ready to submit the application form, that is self-appraisal form for getting accreditation from NBA. In the year 2018, the institute got accredited by NAC with an A grade. To also achieve the autonomous status, the institute recently submitted an application to UGC that was duly recommended by the affiliating university JNTUH, and we are awaiting for the visit of expert committee for on-the-spot inspection to accord autonomous status for the institute. As I already told you, the institute offers in total around 11 UG programs and 5 PG programs with able support from 240 faculty members and 160 non-teaching staff members. The institute has received MHRD's NIRF 2020 ranking, and we are placed in the rank band of 201 to 250. And this year, I hope, that is for NIRF 2021, with all the hard work that the faculty members and staff members have contributed in the recent 10 months, 11 months, even though there was a pandemic situation pushing all the people to stuck down at their homes, they contributed academically and will help us in achieving a better rank once we submit the data capture format given by NIRF 2021. To move forward in all the matters of academic as well as other related statutory requirements, our management extends unstinted support not only to instill confidence in each and every staff member at MGIT, they also support as and when any member of the staff, be it teaching or non-teaching, requests for attending or upgrading any skill or academic pursuits. They support without asking a question, and then all that what they expect is the teacher or a non-teaching staff member in the form of technical or non-technical staff member, only if they have a good interaction with the main stakeholder of the institution, that is student, college, or the institute may not progress in the right direction to achieve its vision and mission. So we thank our management for their unstinted support in all our curricular and co-curricular activities. The different departments are planning and conducting, including this one. And I also thank all the guests who have readily accepted to participate in this webinar and enlighten all the participants on this NEP 2020. With these few words, I thank the conveners and co-conveners of this webinar for having given me an opportunity to present a brief about the institute. Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you very much, sir, for the brief report of MGIT. We assure you, sir, we assure that we would work more harder to take the graph higher in the rankings. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Now, I most humbly invite the backbone and the guiding star of this webinar, Professor M.V. Ramanamurthy, Head Department of M&H, to share his thoughts with the audiences. We are able to conduct this webinar under his able leadership and guidance. Over to you, sir. Professor M.V. Ramanamurthy, sir.
Thank you, Kesha. Very good morning to everybody. Respected dignitaries on the virtual dais, the Subhas sir, Principal Administrator of this college, who is the visionary for the growth of the entire MGIT, none other than Professor K. Jaishankarji, and today's chief guest of the event, Dr. Urmilaji, and guest of honor, Dr. Brashneska and Madhu Parker of Madhu from this Commonwealth Learning Center, and Madhu Parker, my distinguished colleagues, departments of all branches of this big college, and the Department of Computer Science Engineering, CRK Reddy, Dr. Sekhar Reddy, and HOD of IT, Vijay Lakshmi Madam, and HOD of PNC, Dr. Ravi Chandra. Indeed, it's my and distinguished participants and colleagues and faculty members of different colleges, colleagues. Indeed, it's my pleasure to say a few words on this event today. That is the what we call women empowering paradigm towards the national education policy, which is designed by government of India. And in that, I just want to speak a few things about what is women education, about even by women entrepreneurship, going to help to the faculty in order to establish the name of the institute, wherever so they are employed, and then a few things which is related with it, because today being Commemorial Day of Charles Babbage, who is the first inventor of this computation machine that's called computer. Coincidentally, today is a Commemorial Day, and as you know very well, women empowerment, it is the process of giving women control and access to opportunities and resolve them to strive the way in which they like. And in fact, empowerment of women, you need to be given politically, socially, economically, educationally, psychologically, and with a mind, with a proper mind, with the existing gap, that is that with the existing gap. So in this, to say a few names, before the Christ as well as after the AD, BC as well as AD, there are so many women contributed their might to every stone while building up the society, which include to say first empowering women politically and economically. Example, you know, Anna Ravenga, these are the two most ancient Indian families of the world. At this moment, there is a need for a paradigm depending on spontaneous integration of the culture with on par with the nuclear technology. There are many people who have contributed in empowering the woman. As already I have said that a man may take only one person, whereas women will take the entire family. In that context, if we say that according to our Prime Minister's statement, we come under what is called Vasudhaiva Kutumbam, the members of the Vasudhaiva Kutumbam. In that context, everybody's contribution is highly laudable. So at this juncture, to say a few people who have contributed their life and their heart, they have contributed in terms of the science and technology, development of science and technology, economic sciences, social sciences, literature, and most important field of medical sciences. They include before the Christ as well as after the Christ also. There many people have contributed to say in the before Christ include what we call Maitri and Lopamudra, Grace, and Anna, they include the most Indian mathematics background women, none other than Shakuntala Devi, and other women like Madam Curie, Kalpana Chawla, Mother Teresa, Florence Nightingale, and many more have contributed across the globe. Now, across the globe, they have contributed, and also in the AD, there is one more prominent woman from our South India, whom we should not forget, that none other than Vanaja Iyengar, who was the first Vice Chancellor of the Padmavati Mahila University in the south sector of India, that's in Tirupati it was. So, in the same way, there are some more names to mention. There are some more names to mention, which include the first missile woman, Shashi Thomas, and then Pramila. These are all people who have contributed to the defense. So I mean to say that there's a lot of contribution from women in developing our nation. So and also, as far as this issue is concerned, the paradigm shift is concerned, I wish to say a few more things in that context. See, we are conducting this event in one of the most prestigious educational institute of the CBS, that is none other than MGIT. Here, our intention is now, if you go for what they call future requirements of society, women have contributed and still they are contributing, and that too because of the requirement for the mathematics point of view and also computer science point of view. Many of them are contributing. So this is an environment where our management is kind enough to provide such opportunity to share with the thoughts of many who have worked and who have contributed to the nation at various places. Because I have chosen the resource persons such a way that each and every constant component that contribute to our culture, development of science and technology will cater it. So in that context only, I happen to request the people to come and share their views here, and then share their views. Now at this juncture, I will close it, and I won't take much time because it's not fair. And this FDP will definitely help in having a proper direction with our force, none other than Professor Jaishankar, who was kind enough. The moment I said, he has accepted. So please kindly go ahead, he said. So, sir, thank you very much, sir. And I wish all the participants to have a pleasant time and share with the views of the experts. All the best. Thank you very much for giving the opportunity. All the best. Good luck.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. You rightly said, sir, that empowering women in all fields, like politically, economically, etc., most importantly, psychologically also, is the need of the hour. It addresses the diversity of social structures, and especially empowering women in politics is the need of the hour. Yeah, thank you very much, sir. I now invite Professor D. Vijay, Department of IT, to say a few words about the webinar.
Yeah, thank you, Gosia.
Lakshmi, madam. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, Gosia. On behalf of the Department of Information Technology, as the department is one of the hosts for today's program, I welcome one and all to this program, all the participants and the guests. And on behalf of the Department of IT, whoever is attending on the virtual platform, very good morning to one and all on behalf of the Department of IT. Education is an essential component needed to accomplish human potential and build up an even-handed and justifiable society. So there is a negation to all these segments of the society. That is the order of the day, actually. So regardless of their belief, gender, religion. So when this is the basic requirement of the India today. At present, the moment of the literacy rate in India is 74.37%. So with only 53.7% of our girl children are enrolled in the schools for their education purpose. So the newly proposed the National Education Policy 2020 hopes to bridge this gap between the children that have access to the education and those that do not have the access. So its aim is to make sure this policy makes education all inclusive without the question of the child's gender in mind. So that will be the basic criteria here. So this will therefore lead to more of the nation's children being given the gift of education, especially our female children. So a great step to development will be brought forth due to this policy. Hence, as we see the prospect of a woman having quality education, we automatically imagine a beautiful future waiting us. So we wait with our breaths held for this policy to be implemented successfully even in India also. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you for your beautiful words. Yeah. Is Dr. Madhu Parhar madam available? Is madam present? Yeah.
Gausia, I am
Welcome. Welcome, ma'am. Good morning. Very good morning. Say few words, ma'am, because anyhow you are going to give a keynote address, but then we wish to hear you.
Dr. Urmila, Principal MGI. If I'm pronouncing it correctly, the name, and all colleagues from the NGIT who is organizing important, you can say, webinar, seminar online on empowering women, a paradigm shift in the National Education Policy 2020. So firstly, I must say that I thank all the organizers for inviting me. Secondly, the organization is Commonwealth Education Media Center for Asia, and it has nothing to do with any university. That I must make sure. And thirdly, I was supposed to give a keynote, so I'm ready for that. But here, maybe for our listeners and those who are participating in this webinar, share a little bit about what we are, the organization. Earlier, we had conducted a training program for MGIT, and it was quite useful as informed by the faculty members. So we look forward to the collaboration. Now, coming to what we are, Commonwealth of Learning, an organization. It is an intergovernmental organization situated in Vancouver, Canada. It has 52 Commonwealth countries where we are working. SEMCA is the office of COL Delhi. So if you see the name Asia, what we do is we are working with the 8 Commonwealth Asian countries. So there are several Asian countries, but there are only 8 Commonwealth Asian countries where we are working. So these are Brunei, Bangladesh, Malaysia, Maldives, Singapore, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and of course, India. So these are the 8 countries where we work. And what are our major work areas? Are education, and second is skill sector. Under education, we are working to promote how to enhance the quality of open and distance learning. So that's the mandate of Commonwealth of Learning. However, it's not only that we are working with the open and distance open universities or the dual mode universities, but now we are also working with the formal system, formal universities, because as all of us we know, there is a death of the distance and there is no open universities, in my opinion, no formal universities. Now, what we are doing at the moment, we are attending a webinar at a distance. So where is the, otherwise, if there was no such technology or no such pandemic, we would have, the institution would have organized a face-to-face conference or a face-to-face webinar. But this is not the case now. So we are working with the education sector. One or two most important things what we do is the creating the open education resources policy, because that is one movement UNESCO started and all of us, we are following that. And of course, we create courses for the education sector. Now we are working with the online courses and so on. The second important area where we work is the skill sector. So several skill initiatives which we have taken is we build the capacity building, we create the resources, especially the video resources. So like for several sector skill councils, NSDC, and various other partners, we are working and we are promoting the skill side of it. Now, coming to the very important theme of what we are doing it, COL, Commonwealth of Learning, has a very important policy that their gender is a cross-cutting edge in all the activities. So what we do is that the two very important, I'll just mention because the lack of time, and maybe I'll be talking more during my presentation. The two very important activities which we are doing in Commonwealth of Learning is, one project is Girls Inspire, and the second project is on Commonwealth Women Project. So this is the exact title is Commonwealth Wise Women Mentoring Project. Here, the Commonwealth of Learning has identified or wants the women empowerment as one of its main strategies for achieving the sustainable development. What we do is we engage grassroots at the grassroots level, the girls and the women, and from the undeserved communities, and they are our part of it. So it is not only that they become the leaders, what we promote to them, but they create the next generation leaders. So maybe a little bit of it more, I will be talking about it. So the point which I want to emphasize is that our organization, Commonwealth of Learning, and we, SEMCA, situated in Delhi, are promoting the girls' education, which is one of the priority areas of the new education policy 2020. And of course, since independence, several commissions and several policies have also emphasized girls' education, women's education. So with these words, maybe we will do a little bit more detail when we will be discussing in the next session. With these words, I thank the organizers who have me here in this webinar. Once again, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Yeah. Thank you for the brief report of SEMCA. Actually, we had a doubt yesterday. What is it for? Today you clarified all our doubts. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, as you said, these online webinars have saved our lives in this pandemic situation. Thank you, ma'am. Now, I most graciously invite Ms. Madhuri Kalidindi, Director, IBM Hyderabad, for the inaugural speech. Ms. Madhuri is a multifaceted personality with 22 years of rich experience in the IT arena and over 2 decades with IBM, the US and India, both across various industries. responsible for transition and transformation of services from India. Ms. Madhuri facilitates the bridge from client management, delivery center knowledge to deployment of transformation skills on accounts, ensures global delivery of service support and client partnership across multifunctional covering the IT operations and infrastructure. She provides direction to the leadership and also drives IBM GTS strategy. She has been the gender ambassador for IBM GTS delivery, currently part of the Diversity Council and leading the Hyderabad POSH team as the chairperson. She runs various programs for women advancement and to retain women employees with multiple learning interventions, mentoring, and sponsor programs. Welcome to you, ma'am.
Thanks a lot. Sorry, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Gazia. And good morning, everybody. And it's an honor to be part of the renowned dignitaries, MGI faculty, and students. It gives me an immense pleasure to connect with you all because everybody here, we have crossed that path, and you are the future pioneers of the society. You make a big milestone, and that's why you are so very important. Thanks for the opportunity once again, and I wish this could have been in person, but no regrets, as everybody has been talking. We are fighting the pandemic, juggling around, and settling down with the new norm of life. Technology has provided a wonderful platform to be with all of you today. So that itself is a blessing. So balancing between personal and professional lives in this new norm has not been easy for any of us, be it for the faculty members, be it for us, or be it for you as students. And 2020 undoubtedly has been a groundbreaking year, and we are at a time that is anything but not business as usual. But still, we are surviving, and let's continue that. And thanks, Galia, for a wonderful and fabulous introduction. But guys, I have been one of you all 20 years back, not knowing what to do and where I would end up. And I would say, first of all, thanks to my parents, and I'm truly obliged to my teachers, everybody around me, my parents, family, for the values and the support they've given me to create an identity for myself. And yes, just like fresh out of school and fresh graduate, I started my journey. I was in US for 10 years, and I've started with IBM in US, and then moved here and settled down here. And just want to let you know one key thing which I want to share with you all. By profession, by profession, I'm a 9 to IT, but with education background, I was not into math, or I was not into computer sciences. I was a BSc microbiology student and then did my MBA, and it was completely an offbeat path for me. But believe me, passion is something that takes you where you want to, and we can eliminate the hurdles. So it's all about today's topic, empowerment. Empowerment, of course, it means like, yes, people around us also have to make a conscious decision to empower women, but at the same time, it's our inner self. How do we empower ourselves? So that's very key, because when I have identified my strength and wanted to continue with my life in establishing an identity, just being a daughter, a mom, or being a successful member of the family is not enough. So we need to find out what is our core strength, and understanding what it is makes us an independent person. That's all we want to, and that's how we need to help people around and our society to achieve it. Today's world is talking about equal opportunities. It is all about women empowerment and how it would influence work, the world, families, and communities. But first, we need to find our voice and claim our space in the community, nation, and the world. And to bring about that positive change, today the government, the corporate world, everybody is doing a lot. There is less of a discrimination of men and women. The world is advocating and promoting the advancement of gender equality in every profession and leadership role. There is a reason for this because when we have a better inclusion and a gender balance, it will bring new thought, bring a new perspective to create a better society. I'm not sure how many of you have followed the news this week, but it is like an amazing thing where the German cabinet this Wednesday have approved a quota of 30% to be on their company boards, women to be having at least one seat on the big companies. And the cabinet approved this legislation to force all the large listed companies in the country to have at least one woman because it brings a different perspective. And this change has been for debate over years, and finally they made it. So that tells how important the gender balance is. But when we are talking about all this, success is fragile. Let's just not measure success with a yardstick because we women and we can bring women to forefront just while we are empowering ourselves. We just have to look around the society and see how we can empower the women that we are interacting day to day. Let's treat them equal. And if you have an environment where their voices are not heard, we won't benefit from the power of the diversity where the world or the government or anybody is doing. So the first step is we need to believe that the change is required. And it has to start with us. Age is not a barrier. It can be anybody. Why don't we take that first step in our lives? Because empowerment it's just not a fancy terminology that the world is after. It is just about building that confidence, building that capabilities and talent. So women can follow their passion and be proud of the choices that they make it. In a nutshell, we should embrace every opportunity that life knocks upon us with confidence, and wonders will just happen. Empowerment brings in change in the mindset and behaviors, and that behavior has to be like be a role model. It doesn't have to be like you have to be a celebrity or a star. You can be a role model to anybody. So let's try within ourselves as to how we bring that change. I truly believe in it because understanding, conviction, and confidence are the key things for these behavioral changes. So I hope I'm just not trying to, just go on with this because I want to get, this is my true story as well, guys, because every day I meet so many people, young women, and just like fresh student graduates coming out of college. And when we are meeting them, yes, in the coffee conversation, chat conversations, people do complain saying like, ma'am, I'm not given an opportunity at home or my parents didn't treat me equally. But was it a showstopper for you? I mean, why didn't you voice out? If somebody has told you saying like, okay, I'm getting a soft toy for your birthday or I'm getting flowers for your birthday, the point is just stand up and say like, why a soft toy or why flowers for me? It doesn't mean women are only meant with a certain gesture. Let's try to empower ourselves and raise. Let's not show that difference. Even tomorrow as students, when you just have to gift a toy to your niece or nephew, don't differentiate by just picking a plush, nice, soft toy versus a car. Just go with their dreams, what the child wants. And let's start that in every walk of life. And that's very important, and that's what would make us more powerful. So, a few things that I just want to leave with you all when we are trying to say, like, let's empower or let's instill that empowerment within ourselves. Let's be conscious to the contribution that we can make to the larger society and make a difference to the world. So, try boosting the self and people around you. It can be you can boost your self-esteem, and you can boost your self-esteem of your mom by just saying, Mom, the dish that you made this morning is amazing. I don't think any chef in any of the five-star hotels can make the dish as tasty as you have done it. Confidence and that self-esteem that you're giving to the person that you are next to would just do wonders. That's about it. Please be open, honest, advocate the female colleagues, advocate your male friends, and lead by example and become a mentor and support every woman that is trying to run a small business. If somebody is just trying to sell something right outside your campus, so just encourage them to be an entrepreneur, encourage them to have their own financial independence, encourage them to self motivate. So when I'm just bringing about all this about empowerment, empowerment starts with education. Education is very, very, very important because the gender balance, the way that we think, how we can make powerful women, it all comes through education. That's the first step. So please utilize all your resources because we are very fortunate enough today. If we are all here on this platform, that tells us how fortunate enough we are to have this higher education in our lives. So utilize it, develop it, because the dignity, sense of pride, all these things do come with education. Because power often described as self-confidence and self-awareness, because you just get powerful only when you are trying to learn every day, because this is just learning is not something that we just get done in first 15 years or 25 years of our lifetime. It's like an ongoing process. We end up learning, whether it's formal education or informal education, every day we tend to learn. So let's be very assertive, let's be very self-aware about what we are doing and recognize the individuals next to us, because these power relations do make up lives, and based on this, they act accordingly on the society. And national education policy that everybody has just spoken about is a big change, because personally, it's been 25 years since, almost 23 years since I've been out of college. And I wasn't so very closely following up in it. I do have two boys, and both of them are doing the IB curriculum, so not so much close on to the national education policy. But when I have seen this, the announcement that came in, I just felt like this flexibility and this quality is very much needed for India. This is the time because we are seen as a global powerhouse. When we are seen as a global powerhouse, the education system would require a massive, massive shift. And this 2020 NEP announcement and the way that it is being not projected, but the way that it is being designed of having more practical learning and giving flexibility to the children and the students with postgraduates and undergraduation from the same universities makes huge difference, because the practical life experiences versus book knowledge that we had in the past is a big, big, big shift that the world requires, and especially India requires. I'm in a very big support of the change that is coming through, and I really hope. This is a big positive shift for India, and it would really place our education system, because today India is looked upon as as a center where we can provide skills, any skill. The futuristic growth skills that the world is looking for are coming from India. So the education complementing would definitely make wonders. And students, I really want to just have you all think about, because when you grow older, you also see your parents getting more wiser. So please remember, when you walk into the world, tread slowly and carefully, because you're treading on your parents' dreams. So don't ever just take anything for granted. empower yourself, utilize the resources to the best of your convenience, and you will make it. So all the very best to the MGIT students. Make your place in the world. The resources around you are enormous. With the limited resources and with the constraints that we had, especially I'm not talking about like how it would have been 50 years back, but at least 25 years back when I started off with my college, I did have quite a few constraints trying to distinguish between me and my brother, what I'm supposed to do, what I'm not supposed to do. But things have changed. So if I could do it, and if I can find a place for myself, you guys will rock and you can conquer the world. Today's world is changing very, very fast, and disruptions happening earlier, disruptions were happening once a decade, but now they are much, much faster and quicker than we have seen. So be prepared for the change and adapt yourself to the world. Just remember the race within yourself and empowering yourself is the key for it, and just go for it. Never give up on education because it is very imperative for achieving any goal. Believe in yourself, constantly embrace the knowledge of wisdom. So, with that, I just want to have a small wrap up. So, please, out of the alarming situation, ensure that we do not step out of the house if not needed. Be very cautious about your safety and your loved ones at home. If there is a dire need, then only just step out. And our mental and physical wellness is much, much needed to sustain and cope up with the situation. So please focus on the overall wellness and have a wonderful weekend. And thanks again for the opportunity. Thanks a lot, Gauzia ma'am. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am, for that beautiful, interesting, and encouraging words. I heard you in 2019 on Women's Day. This is the second time
Oh, okay.
I'm hearing it, and just you rub that confidence on us. So you always want women to excel in every field, especially technology, right, ma'am? And that journey, your education journey from BSc to this IBM is tells that you are jack of all trades. And
Thanks a lot.
yeah, you rightly said, empowerment should come from within. It should be as natural as leaves to the trees. And it's all about gender balance and inclusion. Yeah. Yes. Why soft toys? Yes. Why only pink color? Why blue color for men? Yeah, that also is a interesting point. Yeah, ma'am, it's not that women don't raise their voice. Voices are raised, but they are either unheard or suppressed. That's the problem. Yeah, as you said, we need not be celebrities, okay, and big personalities. We are the queens at our homes. Yeah, we should feel that that empowerment within us. Yeah, thanks so much for those very confident words, ma'am. Thank you so much sparing your time and being with us on this virtual platform. Thank you, ma'am. Now, it gives me immense pleasure to invite our guest of honor, Dr. Beata Brezdenska, former Member of Parliament, Bratislava, Slovakia, to give the keynote address. Ahoj, Dobry den, ma'am. With us to this webinar. Thank you for sparing your valuable time. From 1998 till date, Dr. Brezdenska held various positions as head of the Department of Didactic of Sciences, head of the Research and Education ID Center, Communist University, member of National Parliament of the Slovak Republic, head of the Slovak delegation to the Council of Europe, vice dean at University Comenius of the Faculty of Natural Sciences, the director of the governing board, the Slovak Academic Association for International Cooperation, the director of Incubator of Innovative Teacher, Microsoft. And under scientific work, implementation of ICT in education and teacher education, Madam has several national and international projects. She has 186 publications, Indian research projects, and 9 PhD students who have graduated. Presently, Dr. Bestenska works as an associate professor of natural sciences, University Commences, Bratislava. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you for sparing your time and being with us. Over to you, ma'am.
Yes, thank you very much. Good morning for everybody. Many greetings from Slovenia. Thank you very much for participate in this international webinar. I would like to thank Principal Yaya Shankar, Professor Ramanamurthy, that I personally know many years, and I'm very happy that I can see him. It's pity that is a corona problems that we can be not personally, but I am very happy that we are see in such way in the webinar. Thank you very much, and I may send the greetings for all the organizers of this webinar, all the participants. I am very happy that I can stay with you and to share my experiences. I am the teacher, I am the stakeholders, I am the politician. It is a big change in my life. When I was a student in university, I finishing the chemistry and physics study. My dream was be a teacher, and I am the teacher 40 years in the university now. I don't dream about it that I will come also for the public activities and for the political activities, but really I am not the celebrity, but I am the person who enrich experiences to reach my knowledge, and big enrich of my knowledge and understanding the life and changing of the life was also my stay in the India, that I was 4 times in the India with my husband, who participated in many projects in the India, and I was first with follower. After then I also present my experiences. Also I have many meetings in the school and my presentation, and my life is very exciting as a woman. And I think that Madam Director of the IBM tell to very concrete information that really the women role is very important, because we are half of the world. I think sometimes that really we fighting for the gender of the women and men, but I think that really the society in the whole world is very exchange through the education. Before, the women was not educated, and now we have a lot of educating young ladies, and also many older ladies come to re-educated, and it is a goal that we must looking for and reach the power of the lady, of the women in the society and the economic potential that we have. Let me now to show my story as a woman, how I can change the society. I would like to now share my screen. I'm waiting for the sharing. It's a little bit to need the time. If they join my sharing, and is not now. I prepare the presentation to show how is able to, for one life, to realize many dreams. I have a dream that I would like to fulfill it. It was my vision, and it's nice if it will be able. I'm looking for sharing, but it's not able now. Just a moment, I shall start to once more. Is little bit maybe the connectivity is not such quality as before. Many people join. Be so kind, you see that I would like to join with my presentation.
Not
Still, I
yet,
can,
not yet.
yes, I cannot join. I share it, but is not be able.
Let's right side, ma'am.
Yes, yes,
Present now, share screen.
Yes, yes, share screen, but I click for the share screen and I see on the screen, but not be able to join it.
And then share the screen.
Yes.
You first open the presentation, then share the screen.
Yes, yes, yes. I tell it, but it's not operate now for me. We tried yesterday, today.
Ma'am, presentation open on your screen?
Yes, I have it open in my screen, yes.
Then you share it, madam. Then you share it.
Yes, 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 I tried, but it's not able now for me. Is I click to the share and nothing to change. I waiting for some information that I can share, but it's not now. No problem. I will be try to share it, and we will see. I prepare the many information. Yes.
Ma'am, you please forward it to Harita ma'am or Harita ma'am.
Yes, I
WhatsApp.
I click the share, but I cannot share now.
Carolina madam.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am. Yeah, please send that PPT presentation to my mail. I'll share it for you.
Yes, but it's a bigger file.
Okay, fine. No problem there. Madam, once again, you go with present now. You click that present now.
I will send to the chat. I would like to send to the chat it now. It's a pity because then we start in the morning was no problem with the sharing.
Yeah.
I tried and now is the I don't know what happened. I would like to send by maybe by chat, but I don't. It's a big one.
Do one thing, ma'am.
Yes.
You try once again.
Yes, I try again. But cannot me to switch the screen. No, maybe we can change the position that I will try to send you because it's a little bit big one. And please maybe start the speech, my colleague to follow me.
Okay.
Okay, be so kind.
Yeah.
Maybe change the speaker. I ask you.
Okay, you want us to change the speaker?
Yes, change the speaker because really I would like to send you the screen and file. Okay. Be so kind because really I cannot open now.
Okay, ma'am.
May change the speaker. I will wait. I will realize it few minutes and be so kind and call for the other speaker if possible. Madam. Madam Garcia.
Ma'am.
Madam Garcia,
please log out and rejoin, ma'am, once you try this way.
Yes, I will try. I will try.
Yeah, please log out and log in again, ma'am. I think that would work.
Yes.
And in the meantime, we will shift
yes.
to this next speaker.
Yes, by I need the time. Please call for the next speaker, and
Okay,
I will
ma'am.
be
Okay.
okay.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
I will now try.
Right, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. 1 second. Madam has joined the link. Urmila madam has joined the link.
Gausia ma'am,
Yeah.
we have our chief guest, Urmila ma'am. You can introduce her.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, fine.
She's ready? Okay.
Yeah, you
Thank
can
you so
continue,
much, ma'am.
Gausia.
So we'll now connect to Urmila ma'am.
Okay, Urmila madam has joined. Okay.
Give a minute and you start.
Sure. There's some technical glitch here with Bredstinska. So, madam will be speaking later. Now, our chief guest, Dr. Urmila Devi, has joined. Yeah. I give an honor to welcome our chief guest, Dr. Additional Secretary, UGC New Delhi.
Yes. Am I audible? Are you getting my voice?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
A
Thank
warm
you.
and pleasant morning to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
So once again, a very warm good morning to all of you, all the guests, other countries, speakers all over the globe, and MGIT fraternity, and the people who are in this event, such a critical time is the pandemic time all over the globe. Audience, viewers, whosoever is connected to this webinar. First of all, I would like to convey my thanks to MGIT Professor Murthy, who followed me to join this. And really, I am feeling honored to be the part of this global activity during such a critical. I am seeing here the persons from different spheres of life who are, especially the galaxy of women who are not only intellectual but holding positions all over the globe. So really, I am thankful to all of you. And my is only this, that I'm not going to give a detail of provisions because these are very common things right now. This is the platform. All women are so awakened, more than me, at different platforms. So the only concern is that whatever I have gathered as an educator or as an officer in the organization like University Grant Commission, Indian Women, I would like to say that power is not a thing which can be women or men. Power is a thing which you can develop inside your heart, inside your brain. So context, my experience is I started my career in a university. So I know they are starting from the graduation to the high level answers I have seen there. And here in UGC, I met number of women from countries, across the countries, all over the world. So now I came to know that women, now this is the right time for them to make self-assessment, what they need. Women requires, each personality is different from the other. This is the God's beauty. Human being is the beautiful gift on this earth. So each one is different. Though superficially looking, but each one of us is different, and especially women, which is considered beautiful creation of the God, is so different in so many things, in so many life. So what women exactly need? Most of the time, whenever we attend such kind of webinars, workshops, international conferences, the area is limited to earning the money. I know that is the most aspect. Economic aspect is the most important aspect. In India especially, the works done by the not the earning works. They are not converted into the money. So they are not considered as the part of the development country. And now slowly, when we are coming forward, education, through the education, they are realizing that their work beyond the economic yieldings they are having in, because our agricultural culture. A lot of women are working in the farms, agriculture, fields. But they are not pursuing something. They are holding the charge of the house, doing every type of course, and they are working with the men also. But even then, they are always compared to lower, compared to the second level citizen. In after this constitution, they are given the right as per constitutional provisions in respect equal. But do you think that we are equal? Is still a long way to achieve our right place. They are not very conscious about all these things. Whenever I attend such kind of, the things are limited to the economic development. There are things. Are we free to work as intellectuals? Are we free to work? Are we independent officers? Are we independent to take part in policies in a political arena? Are we independent to have decisions in houses? These are the questions to be challenged. Or power is not the one-sided thing which can be money only. Money is a very important aspect, but other aspects who are earning, they are, I think, also not so empowered. Or offices, you see, still the majority of the males will try to sideline the women. So that they are also being a most important thing is they are also in their works also they are because they are multitaskers by the offices where males think that it is we need to think about how to control that. Important thing in Indian context that women are not giving a to the women who are standing on the bottom. The reason to my mind is division of creed and region, all languages, all those things. Males are coming those things. When they sit together, they forget all these things. They apply in some areas like marriages, etc. Are never free out of that. They are always practicing all these things and taking themselves all those things. Here also, I think whenever we attend such kind of webinars, we are having very powerful women. What is the real position? No, only the particular individual woman knows. How she is being treated as homes, how she is being treated by husband and by other relatives. It is depending upon them. Being the powerful in the sense of constitution is not enough to practice the powers given to her. So now I think the independent and educated women has to realize to take prominence of policies and the works to be done for the women of the cultural things have to be also be addressed in that respect. So many things, you know, all over the country, the women things are very, female child is very different in every house. Female feticide, fully approved thing. There are a lot of punishments, provisions. It is stopped? No. Lakhs of girls are not allowed to see the world. And then they down, and then you need see the word honor killing. How can we respect, how glorify a murder like giving a word honor killing? Who has given this word? English people. Then we have given this word. This heinous crime is being given the name of honor killing. We have to go deep in culture to see. Now the women is the only tool who can remove all these things and raise their voice, all these things. And when I was seeing that, I found that which are considered to be the developed states, like Haryana, Punjab, Tamil Nadu, where they claim that women are, and Kerala. But you see, feticide rate, the rapes, the women is still considered a commodity. Even the victimizers family, they never bother about that the victim is a woman and they are. So first of all, the women has to realize that the women feelings, same tortures, same things which are educated women or uneducated women at any step of the country ladder is standing. I think we all, the women from here on this platform, of life, holding a very powerful position, this, are we doing justice with the women's inside? All are women, but we are not curious to know about the womanship. What is womanship? We all think about that my parents have not any difference between me and my boy. But to make difference, a child should be reared like a girl child. That should not be there should not be comparison between a boy and a girl. And you will find a lot of parents like me who are well enough that we are giving everything to my girl child as a boy. Why as a boy? Why not as a girl? Why world is inferior to a boy? I have this kind of anguish. That should be treated like a girl. The women should be respected like a woman. I'm not in a hurry to take part or to compete with a male. No, I'm a woman. I should be respected as a women officer, not as a because I am working hard, so I am not. No, I am more than males because feelings more than males. But very unfortunate, my dear sisters, that everything is decided by the males. The webinar items, the points are decided by the males. That these are the provisions, this has to be done, the kinds of jobs to be done by the women. No, this should not be done. First of all, right to unleash her powers, to use her talent, to use her inbuilt, to use her capabilities, her competencies to make towards the development of the humanity, which I'm very sure may also may not vary from me, my opinion. So my concern is only as the women platform here, though I'm seeing also here, but there is not that. The only thing is this, that we should be given our due. We don't have any comparison, competition. The women should be treated as a woman. The girl be treated as a baby girl, not comparative to a boy. That we are get her nutrition, her status. Women is different from the male. Nobody is going to tell a male that you are a boy, so you have to find everywhere. Don't do this women-like thing. Don't do this girlish thing. How come? Means these are the bad things, these the evil things. Are these are not the respectable things? When you sacrifice, oh, the women should sacrifice for everything. Why? Why not me? Who are you to decide that what should I, whether I should sacrifice or not to sacrifice? This is my concern. So my only purpose address you people is this. But as a woman, so my only concern is this, that we all women from all status, from all over the globe should have to think whether we are really given the status of a respected woman. Maybe number of names and games. In India, if you see all type of the crimes against women are given glorious names. She is being treated as a commodity. If there is a fight between two boys, they will abuse sisters and mothers. Why? Why? We are nowhere. No sister, no mother, no daughter is there. Even then, they are victimized. And in India, it is a very common crime. If there are fights with the males, if there is enmity between the males, the reflection will come over the women. You must be coming every day through the newspapers and the media news that the women are the most victimized persons in the society, whether and after the crime, sometimes both parties come together. In family crimes, you have seen all are from my sisters from the Indian families, whether it is any state, linguistic, culture is same. So we have to think about the culture. Women in India is the most important carrier of the culture, and giving a silent approval to all these crimes, all these glorified victimization. My dear sisters, I request you all, you may be having very, very high positions, very big posts, but think about the women who is standing on the last ladder of the last step of the Indian system, who is not even considered as a woman. Even today, whenever we are organizing such kind of webinars, seminars, we never invite any women from victimized women or anybody else. We do in English, we do in glorified languages. We have to do such kind of seminars and webinars for the common women who really need it. Dr. Urmila Devi or Madam from Czechoslovakia, they don't need such kind of webinars because they have enough potential to fight with their enemies who are in the shape of family members. Most of the women all over the world are the victims of the family members or the known persons. hardly a very lesser percentage victimized by the outsiders. So this is the right time to address such kind of issues. Women should come out. They should break the barriers which are imposed upon us. They have to realize that they have to make their word. They are not supposed to make the points, to address the points by the males, to make the provisions. I think I am going out of time. So because basically I'm a teacher, though I'm 27 years, I am in the, as an officer, I'm working in education field. But whenever I take a chance to speak about, I have a lot of things, because I'm seeing every day such kind of girls. In India, if you go to the Women's Commission, if a woman goes to complain in a women commission, they are just like the puppets of the males. They are never bothered about it. They will put, you are from that region, you go there. You are from that caste, you go there. She is a woman first. When I came to this world, my only identity was a woman. After I was a daughter, sister, mother, or wife, etc. But we all are divided in that. Even the rapists, they are saved by their mothers, wives, sisters. If they are not saved by them, there will be no rape in India. There will be no female feticide. There will be no dowry system. Every crime is followed by a woman. So my dear sisters, my daughters, some may be in my age of my daughters, they are requested by me with folded hands that they have to make their word beyond, not breaking their families, beyond their boundaries. Thank you very much. With these words, I request you all giving me this opportunity, and with thanks to all of the NGIT fraternity to call me for this platform. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much.
Sir, would you like to talk?
Madam,
Shall I continue?
your proceedings, madam.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much, ma'am, for the most spectacular and rocking session. You know, this is how voices should be raised. As Madhuri ma'am said, this is how voices are raised. If every woman is like you, so courageous, there won't be any problem, and we don't need to conduct such webinars. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. The questions you posed are thought-provoking. The limited powers are not enough for women empowerment. And yeah, girls should be treated like girls only. I am reminded of George Bernard Shaw's saying, ma'am. He says, women are far, far greater than men. They need not compare with men. And women, as you said, they are, it is hard to be a woman. They must think like a man, act like a lady, look like a young girl, and work like a horse. So it's difficult, and it's really thought-provoking and very, very encouraging. And thank you very much for this courageous and inculcating that courage. And we are feeling, I hope even the participants are feeling empowered with your words. Thank you so much, ma'am. I would like to introduce our principal, Professor K. Jaisankar sir, to Madam Urmila. Sir?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, HOD sir.
Sir, tell me, sir.
Hello?
Sir, tell me.
Yeah, madam has left, I think.
Sir. Madam.
Okay, sir.
She wants to visit.
Madam is there. Madam is there.
Madam, Urmila ji. Namaskar, my Professor Raman Murthy. I just want to introduce our principal Professor Jayashankarji to you.
Madam.
And Professor M.S.N. Reddy. M.S.N. Reddy was earlier the Registrar of Usman University. And Professor Jayashankar was also. I just want to introduce.
Our director sir also is available.
Gosya.
Director sir.
Yeah, please.
Professor M. Satyanarayan Reddy.
Our professor is from
Please enable
Communication
your
Engineering.
video. Director sir. Director AES. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you for sparing your precious time from your busy schedule and being with us on this virtual platform. We are honored to have you with us today. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Dear Gausia,
yes, ma'am.
May I ask you? I have sent my presentation. If possible, to continue presentate, or we will wait.
Okay. Adelina, ma'am.
Presenting it. I'm presenting it, Gausia, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, wait a minute. 1 second.
Okay,
1 second, ma'am. 1 second, ma'am. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. It is visible.
Okay.
Please start.
And you will lead the presentation. I will be happy. Let me present my experiences as a woman in education and society. It is my story how I really enrich my knowledge, enrich my skills, and how I be able to realize the activities in the society. Next page, please. Next. Yes, I would like to introduce Slovakia, my small country. It is a middle part of Europe. It is a very small country. We have 5.5 million inhabitants. Next point. Next slide. Next slide, please. Yes, it is my university. I am working in the communist university. There's all potential to open our collaboration between the India and Slovakia and whole the world. And India really has a big potential. But present time in European Union, I collaborate also in the International Association for International Collaboration in European Union. And this was problems that is not now opening the budget, a lot of budget for the joint project between the Europe and India. It was my goal also to realize some activities in this area to enrich the possibility to realize a project in Erasmus Plus or another project from the budget of EU. Next slide, please. This is my faculty. It's a Faculty of Natural Sciences, my campus. Faculty of Natural Sciences, my website. This faculty is a special area. I have a big advantage that I live near this campus of my Faculty of Natural Sciences, and walking every day 20 minutes, I walk to my office, and I am very exciting that really for more than 40 years I be able to realize my activities in this university, my education and my research activities. And this area was founded in 1968 and slowly is increasing. But then I compare with the India campus, it is only the small campus because the numbers of our student, your student is different in universities. Please, next. Yes, it is my sentence for my presentation. I would like to say that why is human being in society if it does not make society better? And without the women's empowerment, we cannot create better society. And there I thinking and preparing this presentation, it is my message for this webinar that really all of us, and special women, we must show that we can realize better society. Next, please. Now I come back to the education. The last century, between the 19th and 18th century, you see how was the education process in the old school. And if we compare now, and you can see the international school, but also the in the right side is from Slovakia school in primary school that completely changed the life and age for the industrial age. We now live in the knowledge age. It is big, there are the big changes. It's not about the technologies. About the technology, we not changing only that we put the equipment to the education, but also we must change all the process of education. And it is very important, and we see that really our generation is very exciting, has a very exciting life because that I compare the life of my grandmother, mother, and me is completely different. The next slide, please. Now is a comparison. My grandmother was born between the 19th and 20th centuries, and she communicated only with the book, radio, and telegraph. It was all the communication tools. My mother was born in the 20th century and has a plus television. And then I was born, I was in 1955. I have a lot of communication possibilities and is enriched year by year. And it is famous changing in the human being because first time in the history of the people start be this last 20 or 40 years very important that change the education that not only the older people can be able to present the information for the young people, but first time in the history also the young people now be able to present and to enrich the education for old people. And your national education policy, your new agenda 2020 is fantastic. I read this material and was exciting for me the principles that you can realize now the transformation of the education. It is a general transformation, education and my education in Slovakia. In your material is present in the NIP old traditional dividing the 10 plus 2 years, and now the new concept of the education curriculum structure 5 plus 3, 3 and 4. That you see my education in the Slovakia. We have the preschool, 1 year preschool education after the lower and upper level of the primary school is 4 and 5. And after then we have the secondary school, we dividing for gymnasium and vocational school, and it is depend on the year. It is 4 years the secondary school, and also the vocational school we have 4 years, 3 years, and 2 years. And higher education, we have bachelor, master, and degree study, and PhD study, and compulsory education in my country is 10 years. All the child must realize the primary school 9 years, and after then 1 year of the secondary school. It is for compulsory for everybody, every child, and after then can dividing for the different type of the secondary school. It is many similar. I see the many similarities in your new concept of curricula, and I must tell that we changed this last small reform of education was after the political change in 1989. But from my point of view, I must tell that these changes was not such general or complex transformation as prepare you in NIP 2020 in your material. We are now dividing the many, we have a diversity of the school. Before the political changes was only one type of the curricula for primary school and for the secondary school. It was centralized education. And after the political changes in our country was dividing, and we have diversity. We have the state school, private school as the church school. And now we are looking for more concentrate for the quality of the school, because after the political changes increase the quantity in our school, especially in the secondary school and the universities, but the quality was a little bit decreased. And now we have concept also for the new education, a new quality of education. Now about me and about my position as a woman, how I am going society better that I a woman. First, my very important position is a teacher and a researcher. You can see I like to work as a teacher is my how to say, my mission from the childhood. I dreaming be a teacher, and I realized 46 years preparing the student, future teacher for the primary and secondary school in the science subject. For me, it's very important to innovate permanently my teaching. I am learning permanently, also enrich my knowledge. I will come to the webinars, courses, seminars, study stage is very important, and I'm feeling that really is very important for also this changing realize more and more for education, for teachers, because the process of education now rapidly change with his IT technologies. I am coordinator of national international project and author of scientific monography and textbooks and publication. It is my how I can better society in education and as an educator and researcher. Next, please. We use now also the distance education, you see. I work in this distance education more than 20 years, and it was very hard to slowly, to step by step, to change the education. And now the corona epidemic completely switch on the digital education, and my colleagues now ask me to prepare the webinars, to materials, to help them in the universities, also in the primary school and secondary school, to realize this with my colleagues. We are the group now and realize many now textbooks and publications to help with the distance education. Next, please. You see, this is my student, and also student for secondary school come to incubator of innovative teacher. We preparing for the student new technology. We prepare a special exercise how to use the technology in education, especially in experiment. You see the Wi-Fi sensors with the mobile education. You can use these tablets and laptops and Wi-Fi sensors outside of the school, inside in the school. This mobile education is a new phenomenon that students come back to experimental work with this such fantastic technology. We realize in the primary and secondary school the research, we put to the school this technology and start to measure how the student realize and be measuring the cognitive process of the student. And this is very important. Be not only the digital and demands in the very poor level to use digital technologies, but come to the creative digital competence to realize with the student creativity with the digital technologies, and show how is important this technology for cognitive grow up of the children, of the special. We have first result of the 2 or 4 years research that student really is a generation who likes this technology, but must have also the ideas to creativity. This picture shows that we realize in course-based education that there's a scientist, small scientists, and realize the scientific work. It is very important, and these tools, the digital tools, is fantastic equipment for realizing such creativity work. Next, please. Now, my second position as a woman, as an education policy maker in Slovakia, it was for me very exciting changing that I start to 2000 year, 20 years before, and as a realizer of the national project Info Age Slovakia, Informatic Age, and it was an activity from bottom up, and it was very interesting that step by step we start to cooperate more and more also with the Ministry of Education from top down, and for 4 years we able to realize 4 pillars. We build the IT infrastructure in the school. 97% school in Slovakia has a good connectivity, and we was a leader in Europe, before social countries, that we realized such project and connectivity to the school. We prepare the content for the education for 12 subjects for primary and secondary school. And very exciting for me, and the big school of education was for me the training, teachers training. We realized for 4 years we trained the 56,000 teachers in Slovakia for digital skills, and we created, this is very important for the future grow up, 10% of critical mass of innovative teacher. For my experience, it is a crucial point that if we realize such new transformation in the school, we must prepare the critical mass of teachers who will be the innovator, who will be the realize the next training and prepare the next activities for growing up this changing, this transformation in education. And the school was also the center of the community of local community. In the school was a training all those people from region, and it was this school was a center of informatization of regional people. Next, please. Then we continuing from the next slide. We continuing for the Info Age project. The next national project, it was a modernization of education. And this modernization education was 2008 and 2014 or 13. Next slide, please. That with the modernization of education, and also 2008 and 2014. That we grow up with the quality of preparing the education of teacher. They put the digital content for teacher, multimedia digital content, modernize the education, creation of the textbook for teacher and for student. And it was a very important teacher training in modernization of ICT-based learning process. The second national project focused for change the process with the ICT technology. The first one project was build a structure and create a beginning digital competencies of the teachers. The second project was concentrated for the changing the process of education with ICT. Next, please. And it is sorry, is many pictures. I would like to present some books that we prepare for the student and teachers. The real is all the content in the primary and secondary school. We prepare the portal with the digital content, but also for the teacher the special books. There's a lot of pictures. Please next slide, because it's a long time to load this picture. Next slide. Yes, we don't wait. Yes, now it's loading fine. You can see the primary school is we prepare the school books for the chemistry, biology, mathematics, history, Slovak language, the art. And it was very exciting. There was a new digital book that is the portal, connect with the portal and the printing all those books. Next slide. This is for the primary, and the second is for the secondary school. It is the biology, also history, geography, and exchange the school. And the last, in the right side, you see the innovation teaching with the digital technology and creative digital competencies of the teachers. It is the last book that we're preparing as really the show, the result also for our research work the last 20 years, but also many nice new examples. My political activities, you see, as a political maker in government and media, I present many information and many examples of the change in the education for the media, and also in the right side you see our before prime minister that was in the incubator of innovative teacher. We invite the government, we show how we need the support of the government for changing the quality and the innovation in education. And it is very important to collaborate from such position the university with the government and with the media and realize this changing for popularization for society, to show that it's possible and motivate the people for it. Next slide. My political activities also was in the EU Parliament, also in my Parliament that was presented. I was an MP for 2002 and 2006, and I worked in the Committee of Education and Culture. And really, I was also the chief of delegation, Slovak delegation EU, and it was exciting time also for me that I must first years a lot of learn about the political activities, about the agenda in the parliament, and so. And the next years, 3 years, I realized many activities, many missions, many meetings with people in Europe, in whole world, and activities for focusing for the education and transformation in Europe, and exchange also the information. It was an exciting time for us because the Slovak Republic was joined to European Union, and we realized many transformation of education. Bologna process realizing for the high education. We would like to come to the system of cooperation is in other universities in EU, and so. And you see also my activities and these IT companies. I cooperated many years with the Microsoft, with the HP, with the HP company and other companies. And I was also the Slovak Agency of International Collaboration and Council of Europe. We realized many mission for activity with collaborate together. This is a second very crucial point, that the education must be joined together with the IT companies. And this is a very important to collaborate and to innovate the teaching process with support and with collaboration with the IT companies. This process of innovation is a student-centered pedagogy. We're looking for the student-centered pedagogy, enhanced learning, and IT integration. It is a crucial 3 steps that we realize now. Next, please. And I am looking now for, or I am the leader now for the Office 365 as a platform for hybrid education now in our country. In EU budget, in European Union was realized a very big project for ITS 2020. The 70 countries was partners for 11 countries was joined together in this project, and would like to realize with the off-platform Office 365, the Microsoft platform, to exchange skills in education. And now it's very important to understand that not enough the hard skills, we need the soft skills for the increasing the transversal skills. Your NIP 2020 is looking for the multidisciplinary university, multidisciplinary education. It is very important, this transversal skill. We're looking for it the same. And now is such a roadmap I would like to show you. We realize the good and bad way, good and better way with the national project 1 and 2. And now we're looking for the best way for transformation education. This is important learning for 21st century with creative digital literacy, self-support and lifelong learning, and personal learning 24 hours and 7 days. It is a mobile education, is a virtual education, is a cloud-based communication. And this area that we're looking for now, and this area that will be interesting also and looking for your NIP 2020. The next, please. And in the end, I would like to say what was a success that I have achieved. If I believe what I do, if I am changing myself permanently, even if it is difficult. Many people say it's difficult to change something, and many times and very quickly, but we must do it. And I feel my positive development, and I am in improvement, and it is important for my neighborhood at work and some institution in my country. There is a key points for fulfilling the transformation in education in countries. The role of the active woman is a very much need in this process. Thank you very much for attention.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you so much for that very interesting and informative presentation, ma'am. It is our social responsibility, or you can call it obligation, to make the society better. Yes, as you said. Success of an individual is not enough. We have to look at the success of others also. That's how the society and the nation is developed. And the transformation you showed with the table from 1898 till date, we all also could relate to it. Yeah, that's each one of us could relate to it. And the comparison between NEP 2020 and education in Slovakia you showed, that's quite informative. And I'm happy to know that you visited Warangal.
Yeah.
Your contribution to research is quite inspiring. And in a nutshell, you said without women's empowerment, we cannot create a better society. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your time, for your precious time, and thank you for being with us today. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you very much.
Can I take some time? Brishnaska, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Brishnaska, thank you. I'm more than
Professor Valendredi, I am very happy that I was joined with you, and it's a big pleasure for me that I will be able to present the information and see you once more, Professor Reddy. I am very happy.
Thank you. More professorial quality. That's right. Thank you very much. I'll be in touch with you. I'll talk.
Yeah.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much.
Now,
Thank you for all your interesting, and I'm very happy that I think that we have many similarities to collaborate in also in your NIP 2020. Thank you.
Sure, madam.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Dobry den. Thank you. Yeah. Now, I consider it a proud privilege to invite Dr. Madhu Parharji, Director, Commonwealth Educational Media Center for Asia, New Delhi, for the keynote address. Ma'am, welcome and thank you for your precious time. We are privileged to have you with us today. Please allow me to read your profile. Professor Madhu Parhar joined as Director, Commonwealth Educational Media Center for Asia, that is called as the CEMTA, on 3rd June 2019. Previously, she was a Professor of Distance Education in Staff Training and Research Institute of Distance Education, tried at IGNOU, and was appointed as Director of CHIDE in November 2018. She holds a PhD in education from Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi. MPhil in education from Delhi University, MSc from MS University of Baroda, and a BEd from Delhi University. Dr. Madhu has held a number of roles in IGNOU and other institutions, including Wawasan Open University, Penang, Malaysia. She specializes in educational technology, open and distance education, instructional design, and has contributed several articles and research papers in these areas. She has co-edited several books, including Open Distance Education, Indian Education Development since Independence and Education in India, Dynamics of Development, etc. Madam was consulted by UNESCO on various distance education projects. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for accepting our invitation. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Garcia, so much for having me. And I'm back after your inaugural. So let me share my slides.
ఈ చాలా నీట్ గా మాట్లాడింది బిజినెస్ దట్స్ ద డిఫరెన్స్ he spoke so well.
Something went wrong. Okay.
So you always say Sri Krishna is coming very soon.
Yeah, it's coming, madam. It's coming.
Yeah. Okay. So, friends, once again, I wish each one of you a very blessed 2021. Hope this pandemic will go away and at least we can meet face to face. And I have an opportunity to visit your institution. So that's a personal plan or a wish, if in 2021, if I say so. So a very important webinar, Empowering Women, a Paradigm Shift in National Education Policy 2020. Before this presentation, Dr. Urmila from UGC, she gave a very emotional talk regarding what the status of women is, how we are empowering them in India, especially, and she talked about that what is a difference between the rural and the women who are in bigger cities, how we react and how webinars or seminars are organized. Madhuri, who is still there in the webinar with all her work from IBM, she gave a very good related her experiences of how she has been empowered as a woman during her college days, university days, and her work experience. Beta from Slovakia, she compared the education system of India and Slovakia, and very interesting thing. And she had, with lots of pictures, she compared and she presented what she was doing and what they are doing it. So maybe I'll just go through what actually stick to what National Education Policy 2020 talks about. In about how to empower women. So all of you, you know what empowering actually women, we don't have to say, or we know empowering also, all of us we know, but the literal meaning of empowerment is you give power to someone to do something. So that's what a dictionary or a literal meaning of empowerment is. So what you are giving, you are be giving power to women so that whatever they want to do, they are doing it. But there's a big question mark, and I don't want to get into that what's happening in India or in other countries also. So let's not get into that part of it, whether they are empowered, the women are empowered in India or not. Let's not talk about it. Now, coming to firstly, one or two slides, what we in SEMCA or Commonwealth of Learning is doing. Commonwealth of Learning, as I said, it's an intergovernmental organization of 52 countries. And these countries, region-wise, if you will see on your screens, are from Africa, Asia, Caribbeans, and Europe. So that makes 52 countries. We are working in all these countries because these are Commonwealth countries. And SEMCA, as I said in the very beginning, that it is an offshoot of Commonwealth of Learning. We are catering to the Asian countries. And if you'll see the Asian countries, here we all are working. Now, what is the basic mandate? If you'll see on your screen, the main mandate of Commonwealth of Learning and SEMCA is that the citizens, they get greater access to quality education and training through open, distance, and technology-enabled learning. Very important is that technology-enabled learning. This was our mandate since we came into existence, but this has come true after this pandemic, that the technology-enabled learning is there. So allow them to benefit, to improve the livelihoods, greater gender equity. This is very, very important point. If you say that we want gender equity among women, and that's what, and we see to it that in all our programs, women are well represented, girls are well represented, and to improve the economic, social, and cultural development leading to sustainable development. So if you happen to go to the website, this is our website, SEMCA's website is there, you can find it out. So in a very nutshell, this is what the Commonwealth of Learning and SEMCA is doing it. Now, as I said in the beginning, in the morning, that what we do in Commonwealth of Learning, just two major projects which I would like to highlight is, this we just started after pandemic in March 2020. We started, Commonwealth of Learning started. This is a Commonwealth Wise Women program, a project. You can see, type it out and see what we are doing it. Here, what it is done, as I said in the morning, again, I repeat that here, women, they are empowered. And the agenda of learning for development, which is sustainable now, the learning for sustainable development, is to empower the women and the girls to achieve a leadership potential. So that's what the earlier speakers, the women speakers who were talking about, that how they can build up the leadership potential and influence the next generation of leaders. That's very, very important, rather than just the keeping to self. So what we had in this project, we have women all over the world, and we were mentoring them through online, and each of us, I mean, I was also part of it as a woman, and each of us, like, we were mentoring, seeing how they can do it, and we saw a lot of achievement in them. Another very important project or the initiative which Commonwealth of Learning has taken is the project known as Girls and Girls Inspire. which is all about learning for empowerment. So here, it is in this project, ICTs are used to reach to the world's most vulnerable girls and young women so that they have access to educational opportunities. This is very, very important because women, those who are, as it is, even in the cities, they don't get an opportunity to go to a school. In a family, the preference is given to boys, and the girls are asked to stay back and look after the siblings or work in the field or work at home. But the rural area, this is much more evident. So what this Girls Inspire project is that we use technology, the information communication technology, so that they have access to the educational opportunities and skills development. And a very important project, what I say, the technology we have named is called the Aptus. It's a low-cost device which is provided by the Commonwealth of Learning, so that it is available to the poor girls, especially girl students. So these are the two important projects for especially for the girls. There are others where it's Commonwealth and working, but I will not highlight here because the topic is the national education policy and what it says for the women empowerment. Now, all of you know that what are the advantages of women empowerment. We need not get into the detail of it, but maybe just a brief is few points listed here, and you can see it on the screen, like social development, gender equality, economic productivity, reduction in infant mortality, improved living standard. So, for example, for the society, social development, the first Commission on Education, that is the Kothari Commission of 1968, it recommended that education should be as a tool for social development. So it's not that something, let me say, in the 2020 policy is talking about, but women empowerment has been talked about since India's independence, and it has come out in many policy documents, many commission documents developed by Ministry of Education and then Ministry of Women and Science and Ministry of Child Development. So that's what the advantages of why we have women empowerment. Economic productivity, women are doing equal jobs. They are equal partner to raise the GDP of India. So we will not say that it is not being done. And the very recent example is the vaccine which has come out of from Hyderabad. So that's owned by women. The company is owned by women. So the women are doing very good under the economic productivity. Improve living standard. The women, they play a very important role in reduction in infant mortality, because unless and until a woman is educated, they cannot take an informed or a better decisions for their family's health. That's very, very important. And I need not give an example or the boosting about the women, that women is being giving us all the women in a family giving us the lot of kadas, what you call it in Hindi, to enhance the immunity and take away the coronavirus from each one of us and the family members. So unless and until the women are literate, they cannot contribute. They cannot contribute to the mortality, which is very, very important. So these are just few points. All of you are aware of it. Few of the others I will skip point. Now, another important, before we get into the policies of national policies of education, which India has since independence, I want to talk about the Sustainable Development Goals, which are from the United Nations, and each and every country we have adopted this, even including India. So these are 17 sustainable development goals. All of you know. Quality education, fourth is how to have inclusive education. Here maybe we will not discuss, but we will discuss this point, which is the fifth sustainable development goal given by the United Nations, and each country has to achieve these goals by 2030. So we are in the third decade of this 21st century. Just 10 more years left. How do we do that? So that's very, very important. And some of the data which I will be showing you in the next slide is alarming, that how will we achieve in this 10 years about the gender equality. So if you'll see before COVID, what happened, and this is taken from the Sustainable Development Goals UN website. You all can go and find it out. So the fifth goal is achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. And that's what I thought it would be interesting for each one of us to learn more about it. Maybe all of you have read, but for some of our colleagues, those who haven't read the Sustainable Development Goals, that will be interesting. So before COVID-19, what the data shows that despite the improvements, there still the gender equality is not there. The full gender equality is not there. It still remains unreached. Why? The reasons are that the girls are forced into early marriage. More women, however, more women are in the leadership roles, but they need to go into it. Now, women must be represented fairly in pandemic-related leadership roles. That's what the Sustainable Development Goals of United Nations, they have again described it. Another very important representation they have given is how there are women, they are represented in the international parliaments, only 25%. All of us, we know, still struggling in India, the 33% representation in Indian parliament, still we have not achieved. But if we see overall international parliaments, it's only 25% still. We need to improve upon it. And the participation in the local government, as per the data of United Nations, it is 36%. So these are just a simple records, because all of us, we become very emotional about it when we talk about women's empowerment, but the ground situation or the reality is this. Now, what happened, the COVID-19 implications, very important. There are several studies and many organizations, they are studying that. These lockdowns, which has happened since March 2020, they have increased the risk of violence against women and girls. And one of my panelists also talked about that. The violence against women and girls, it was earlier before COVID, and it has become much more after these lockdowns. And what is the domestic violence? There has increased by 30% in some of the countries. Amazing. So we need to think when we talk about women empowerment, that's a very large percentage, 30% increase in the domestic violence after the COVID-19 implications, what has happened. On the other hand, imagine, just see the data, because this data, again, if you'll see, I have taken it from this website, and you all can go and visit this website. The women who are on the front lines fighting this coronavirus, they account for 70% of health and social workers. So on one hand, the women have a major role to play to fight this virus. And on the other hand, we have the domestic violence, which have increased. What to do? Very sad situation. But including that, the women, they are bearing additional household burdens during the pandemic. So if if I say so, they have to do at least before the lockdown. We used to have our helpers at home, but now they are not coming. So women have to do the household work. They have to see children's online classes and so on and so forth. So the additional household burden has increased during the pandemic. And data shows, again I am quoting this website, data shows that women already spend about 3 times as many hours in unpaid domestic and care work as men. So men should, not on a lighter side, but men should contribute to the domestic work now, after seeing this slide. Coming to this again, the last slide for under the Sustainable Development Goals. What are the targets under the gender equality? And these targets has to be accomplished or completed till 2030. So there are 6 targets. I'll just go through it. You can all read those. What are the details of all these targets? So target 5.1 is end all forms of discrimination against all women and girls everywhere. We have been talking, several countries have been talking, but the Sustainable Development Goals has given us this. Eliminate all forms of violence against women and girls. COVID-19 has said another thing, that the violence has increased. How to tackle it now? This is a major challenge. Target 5.3 is eliminate all harmful practices such as child early and forced marriage. Again, we have seen this has increased during the lockdown and post-corona. So, but this has been talked by the United Nations under the Sustainable Development Goals. What is our target? They have given us to complete it? Recognize and value the unpaid care and domestic work through the provision of public services, infrastructure, and social protection policies. This is target 5.4. Target 5.5 is that we must ensure that all women there is a full and effective participation and equal opportunities for leadership at all levels of decision making, whether it is at a political level or it is an economic level or a public life. How far we are achieving all these targets is a matter which we need to find it out or ask ourselves. I need not get into the detail of it. What's the present situation? And the last target which this Sustainable Development Goals give us is that we should ensure, the governments, the countries should ensure universal access to sexual and reproductive health and reproductive rights as agreed in the Program of Action by International Conference on Population and Development. So these are the 6 targets which has to be achieved by 2030. How much we are doing it, you all can go, and because you have organizing a webinar on women empowerment, you all can find out the details, how much we have achieved under each target. And it is not only the total output, but it is each country has given the data that how much they have achieved. So I thought this will be very interesting for all of us. Now, coming to the education policies, because this webinar is on the national education policies, so maybe briefly we will see what has happened in India about the education policy and what has been talked about women's education in these policies. So the first University Education Commission of 1948, imagine 1948, almost 70 years, more than 70 years, this commission has mentioned a full chapter on women's education. So we should not forget what earlier commissions or policy documents have talked about for women education. So what this commission has talked about, that suggested that to provide same facilities to women colleges and universities as provided to men colleges and universities. Imagine, almost 70 years before the commission has talked about that, we should have similar no discrimination among men and women, and similar facilities should be provided in the colleges and in the universities to men and women. Curriculum should be prepared for them and considering them as both women and the citizens. So that's what talks about 1940. There is a lot, you can all go and read it, because I have just highlighted 3 points, 4 lines, because there's a full chapter on women's education. Then came just the secondary education of 1952-53, which also talked about women, but less of it. It continued what university education talked about, because if you see the title of the commission, it talks about higher education. Secondary education commission talked about more of the school education, the secondary education. So there were a few points, but largely it talked about the curriculum and how to make the secondary education access, equity, and so on and so forth. Coming to the first national policy on education, which was in, these were the commissions which I'm talking about, or they were there. But now coming about the policy document, because policy documents are very important, which the government of India had framed. So the first national policy on education, which was framed in 1968, talked about the education of the girls, and emphasis was given not only on the grounds of social justice, but how to transform socially by involving the women. Because women education accelerates the social transformation, and that's what, in the second slide, when we were talking about the advantages of the women empowerment, it was one of the advantage was the social transformation. So National Policy on Education 1968 talked about the girls' education and emphasized on it. Again, this is a very brief two-line statement I have mentioned, because you all can read, maybe all of you have read about it. Now coming to the second policy, National Policy on Education, which came after 1968, that was in 1986. Again, let me tell you, there is a chapter 12 on that. And this is all quoted from the original National Policy on Education, not the details, but just the highlights. So there is again a complete chapter on women education. And the program of action, if you all remember, because we belonging to the education sector, we have, I mean, not sector, me sector, all of us from the education, but you are from the technical field or the technology institution, person like me who have done education as a discipline. So we have just read about these policies and what are the commissions. So this National Policy on Education 1986, what it talks about is it has laid a lot of stress on the universalization of elementary education and the girl child, and what are the problems of the girl child. So after the policy document came in 1986, the program of action came in 1986 again, and which stressed on the need for reorienting the education system to promote women's equality in education. So some of the points which it was given here, that the entire education should plan a positive interventionist role in empowering of women. Very important that the whole education system, whether we talk about the early childhood education, or we talk about secondary education, or we talk about higher education, it should plan in positive interventions so that the women are empowered. Second important point, we did talk about that, to promote women's studies as part of various courses and encourage educational institutions to take up active program for women's development. And last was to create dynamic managerial structure to target these. So the point which I want to emphasize again and again is that all these policy documents have talked about women education and how to empower these women. National Education Policy 2020, which is the theme of this webinar, and that's why all of us we are here, came out in 2020 last year. A very effective document which gives a lot of points how to improve the education system in India in the 21st century. So the first page, first few pages, page 5, again, I have quoted from the document itself. It says, full equity and inclusion should be a cornerstone of all educational decisions to ensure that students are able to thrive in the education system. So it is like a major one of the objectives, aims of this national education policy. So what is, it doesn't say it is women or men or child or anything, but that's the major objective of this national education policy, that we have to give full equity and inclusion. So it includes equity and inclusion, includes women, not only men. So that's what the emphasis the national policy has given us. Now coming to just 2-3 more slides, that what this policy talks about it and how we can imply or apply it in our educational institution. Yours is a technical institution, technology institutions, must be women enrollment or students are more. I don't know about what the data shows, but you need to find it out and how you can make it an inclusive education. So once when they talk about full equity and inclusion, so under the school education chapter, page 24, what they have talked about, that women cut across all underrepresented groups, making up about half of all socially economic disadvantaged group. So the policy talks about, they are aware of, and everyone is aware of that women still are underrepresented group. And it is not underrepresented to the extent half of all the socio-economic groups. So socio-economic groups includes the differently able, challenged people, the women, the scheduled castes, tribes, and so on and so forth. And under that, half of them, they are women. Then what does the policy say? The policy additionally recognizes the special and the role played by the women in society and in shaping social mores. Very important point or identified by the policy document. Therefore, providing a quality education to go is the best way to increase the education level for these. So emphasis, if you'll see, is how to provide quality education to the girls. They have said, maybe they have not given a separate chapter like the earlier policy documents has given, but it very precisely talks about that we have to improve the quality of education. Point under 6 equity or inclusive education, 6.7 says this, 6.8 point says that government will constitute a gender inclusion fund. Excellent thing. And government inclusion fund means how to give scholarships to these underprivileged or SED groups, which women constitute a part of it. So why this gender inclusion fund will be created? So that nation's capacity to provide equitable quality education for girls. Very clear statement this policy document has given us. So let's see how this will work it out, because earlier organizations like UGC, ministry, they were giving funds, they were supporting the SC/ST students, but this time they have an exclusive gender inclusion fund, so that the country, India, we provide the quality education for all girls. Coming to 6.9, again, it talks about the policy document talks about free boarding facilities. Like earlier also, we know the Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya schools, where students, they come from far off area. Very good schemes in Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya school. They give free boarding facilities. So what this policy document talks about, that special suitable arrangements will be made for the safety of the children, especially girl. The point, I mean, in all these points, which I also want to make it, is that a lot of emphasis is given on the girl education in this. This is under school education. This part is so. A lot of emphasis has been given in this policy document. Now, what it talks about higher education, this policy, again, page number 41, if you'll go and see, point number 14, equity and inclusion in higher education. Earlier, it was talking about equity and inclusion in school education. So this document has clearly stated two different things in school education as well as in higher education. So what government steps can be taken? I have just highlighted three of them. You all can go and read, and I'm sure all of you must have already read the National Policy Document 2020 in detail. So what steps in this policy document the governments will take will enhance gender balance in admissions to higher education institutions. All of us, we know that still the male population in the admissions in higher education institutions is more rather than the girls, women, of various reasons. Parents, they don't ask to go them to the university, take admission. They are married. They support the girl child at home. They go to the fields and so on and so forth. So gender balance has to be enhanced in the admissions in higher education institutions. They provide financial assistance and scholarships in both public and private higher education institutions. And as said in the earlier slide, they will create a gender inclusion fund. And the last point, which I have just highlighted, because as you see, AB points are missing, and because there are other. Our concern is only for this webinar is the girl child or the women education. And the last point, which it talks about under higher education, is conduct outreach programs on higher education opportunity scholarships among SEDs. So you have to conduct these outreach programs, especially for the women. I don't know how many students there are, women students there are participating in webinar, because you are live streaming through YouTube. You can collect the data and find it out that how you outreach such programs and opportunities, and highlight the opportunities and the scholarships among these groups. Coming to, these were the policy document. Go read, and I'm sure all of you must have read it. Coming to just the last point of my presentation, there are several schemes Government of India has taken for how to empower women. And these schemes are, if I say, the Ujjwala scheme, the Udan scheme, and the most important, all of us, we hear in the whole country, is Beti Bachao and Beti Padhao scheme. And one-stop center scheme for women, support to training and employment programs for women, that is a STEP program. And this is regarding working women hostel. So all these schemes are Government of India has started for empowering the women and the girls. So like, for example, this scheme for Ujjwala, all of you know what this Ujjwala scheme is. It is prevention of trafficking and rescue, rehabilitation, integration, and so on and so forth. So these are the schemes. I will not get into the details of the scheme, because all of you know about it. There is like schemes like Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana. There is scheme like STEP, which is the scheme of Ministry of Women and Child Development, where it provides skills for employability to women and it provides competencies and skills that enable women to become self-employed entrepreneurs. So all these schemes, these are very few. I have just listed. There are other schemes also, which you can just find it out. And with this, I thank each one of you for listening. I don't want to get into how we are, what is the present status, because that all of you, us, we know. No point just being emotional, but if we want to do, if we want to empower our nation, we have to empower women. That's what I want to share. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you for that wonderful session. You explained NEP 2020 very clearly with those slides. And you talked about the additional burden for women during this pandemic, COVID-19. Yeah, that invisible labor is always there. For example, on festivals, men enjoy and women are confined to kitchens. But there are also some men who share the load, not to forget. And thank you very much for letting us know about the various schemes, the previous schemes of girls' education, ma'am. And some takeaways, useful takeaways from your session are technology-enabled learning, learning for sustainable development, achieving leadership potential to influence the next generation, and the very interesting aptus is the hope for education field for girls. And one more is the full equity and inclusion you talked about is the cornerstone of educational decisions. Thank you very much, ma'am. And I must share with all of you that I'm in touch with Dr. Madhu madam from past 1 month. And in this 1 month association, I observed ma'am, she's very humble, patient, very, very cooperative, and she's approachable. She made me feel very comfortable whenever I called her. And she's very prompt in responding calls and messages. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for your precious time. And
Gausia, 1 minute.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Gausia, madam. Madhu, madam.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Hello. Madhuji, Madhu Parkar.
Yes, Professor Ramamurthy.
Are you getting me, Madhu? Madam?
Yes. Professor Ramamurthy, yes.
Madam, I am Professor Ramamurthy here. Hello.
Sir, she is listening, sir. Tell, sir.
Some dislocation. Please,
No.
carry on.
Clear.
There is some dislocation.
Sir, you're audible,
It's okay,
sir.
madam.
Okay, sir, you are audible.
Madam, thank you very much for your excellent talk. Hello. Hello, are you getting me? I have one simple this thing to ask actually. What is free equality? Equality.
What is equality?
Yeah.
I think that's all of us. We know that equality is, yes, for if I say for voting, men and women, everyone has equality to vote. But some of the things the women are not equal to, or they don't get a chance to do what men wants to do. But yes, things are changing in every field. If we'll say women are there. So equality is what we say, that what each one of the gender-wise, if I say, what not women, what the gender can do or have the same thing, or have the opportunity to do.
Do you mean to refer with the fundamental rights of equality?
Yes.
Dates, don't worry, you have kept here. Date.
Right, thank you.
May I ask also?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Beta.
May I ask,
Now,
Madam?
yeah, if I pronounce your name correctly, so yeah.
May I also have a question, Madam? Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yes, I would like to interest about the you tell many information about the differences between the men and women in the work, in the time they spend to the work at home and school and so on and so on in the work. In our country, we are discussing a lot of problems with the differences between the month salary. If the men and women have the same position in the shop, they different payment, different month salary, and this big discussion in our country that women has a less month salary than men in the same position. Is a similar in India?
Telling deviation is very experienced. Okay, Azar, we should not get again no chance to find out. Like that he has to do. He always have always is very sober, very why?
Madam, do you listen me?
नहीं ये कल किया एक्चुअली क्या हुआ कल जो
Yes, better go ahead.
पहले वाले में था ये
Madam,
एक फोन
Yes, better go ahead.
कंप्रेस हो जाए कभी हो जाए.
Madam, do you listen me? I would like to ask you.
I am listening you. Please go ahead.
I ask you about the month salary of the men and women. In our country, we have a problem with discussing long years. If the men and women in the same position they are, they had different month salary. The ladies have a 1/4 less month salary as a man. Is it similar in India or you have another experiences?
Okay, I can talk about government. No, a women professor and a male professor will get the same salary. So there is no discrimination there because definitely not. Private sector, I am those who are working in private sector. I'm not aware of it. It can be even women, some women, they are depending upon their positions, they must be getting more salary than men. So I don't know, but yes, I can talk about the government sector. We are at par, whatever a male lecture associate professor or a female associate professor gets, it's both of them, they get the same salary.
So, Madhu ma'am, I want to add, this is Madhuri. Yes, even in fact, in the private sector or the MNCs that I work with, I don't think there is a differentiation. Of course, there is a salary range for every band or every position that you are in. And it all depends on the number of years of experience, but not actually a gender biased or any gender differentiation for the comp.
Right. Thank you, Madhuri.
Thank you. It's interesting because in our country, also in the university, is not such big differentiation, but in the private sector, there is the differentiation, and really is a historical problem in our country because the man was in positions that was the chief of the family, and the lady was a home lady, and this was a problem. And also now I was in the department. It was for me interesting that only few women we have been in the department, in the parliament, and the men looking for us that we are only for the sitting, not the speaking, not the many activities and so. And I was very active, and the men looking for me as a okay, you are big, you have a big ambition, and you would like to have a more money. I say, no, I would like be the same position as the man. And we're discussing this historical fact in the Slovakia. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, all of you. Madhuri, it was pleasant listening to you. And your experience were very impressive and effective. Gausia, anything else? Thank you so much.
Yes.
All of you.
1 second, ma'am. Please wait, ma'am. Yeah. Am I audible? Yes.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. We have come to the end of day one of the webinar. Everything in the world has to come to an end. As George Herbert says, everything is temporary in this world except the virtuous soul. Only our good deeds are permanent. So let's do good and be good. With this positive note, I invite Professor M. Ramabai Madam, Department of CSE, to propose vote of thanks. Before handing over, I extend my sense of gratitude to the management, principal sir, HOD sir, conveners and whole team of this FDP for giving me this opportunity. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Gausia. I, Ramabai, Professor,
Thank you and bye-bye. Tomorrow.
I, Ramabai, Professor, Department of CSE, feel honored and privileged to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of the organizing team for this two-day international online webinar on empowering women, a paradigm shift in NEP 2020. This webinar is jointly conducted by MNH, PNC, CSE and IT Department of MGIT, Hyderabad. Firstly, I extend our thankfulness and gratitude to the chief guest of the function, Dr. Urmila Devi, Additional Secretary, UGC, for accepting our invitation and gracing the occasion in spite of her busy schedule. Her address gave impetus to the women community to gain confidence and tread on the path of self-reliance. We convey our thanks to Madam for her motivating address on women empowerment. Next, I would like to thank profusely the guests of honor, Dr. Bita Brasnuska, Member of Parliament, Bratislava, Slovakia. Thank you, ma'am. Her address gave us the clarity on global views on education system, women, and the path-breaking views and the dynamisms in her speech helped each one of us feel empowered to face the society, enhancing the horizons of our mindset. We are greatly indebted to Dr. Madhu Parhar, Head Commonwealth Education Media Center for Asia, New Delhi, for her gracious presence, for her dynamic speech, and for enlightening us on sustainable development goals, education policies, commissions, and on various aspects of women empowerment with a global exposure and experience. Thank you very much, ma'am, for being a part of this program. Next, I would like to thank Ms. Madhuri Kaldindi, Director IBM Hyderabad, for enlightening us with her presence and for delivering an inspiring keynote address. Your electrifying speech made us feel proud of being women. We shall certainly implement the suggestions and guidelines shared by you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for sparing your valuable time and thoughts with us. Next, I express our gratitude to the management of MGIT for their continuous encouragement and support in conducting programs of importance to the society and nation at large. Our heartfelt regards to Professor K. Jayashankar Garu, Principal MGIT, for his unstinted encouragement and support in conducting this event. He constantly motivates and infuses confidence in conducting events of importance. Thank you, sir, for all your support. We are greatly indebted and extend our gratitude and thankfulness to Dr. M.V. Ramnamurthy, HOD MNH, the main personality behind this international webinar, for providing renowned resource persons and also for extending his everlasting support in organizing this program. Thank you, sir. Next, we thank Dr. C.R.K. Reddy, Head Department of CSE, for his support and accommodative nature. And our thanks are due to Dr. Vijayalakshmi, Head of Department of IT, Dr. M. Ravichandra, Head PNC, and Dr. S.P. Singh, HOD ECE. My thanks are due and words are few. and far to express my thankfulness to all my fellow co-conveners, Dr. V. Harilila, Dr. C. Harita, Dr. C. S. Srinivas, Mrs. A. V. Lakshmi Prasunna, and all the co-conveners of this program, Mrs. N. Shanta, Dr. Sudha, Dr. G. Shanta, Dr. Aruna, Dr. Aparna, Dr. Gausia, Mrs. Aruna Shanti, Dr. Shilpa, Mrs. Sridevi, and Dr. Chandra ma'am, working for the last few days to make this program successful. I express my profound regards to all the technical team members of this program and Mr. Satyadev, system engineer in particular, who is working silently behind the scenes and taking care of all online activities for presenting this webinar without any glitches. Last but not the least, I am thankful to all the participants for their participation with great enthusiasm. Thank you one and all for making this program a great success. I am sure the first day of this international webinar met its objective, being very informative, empowering, and enlightening. Thank you one and all. Thank you all the guests of honors. Over to you, Gausia.
Done, ma'am. That's it.
Madam.
Yeah, thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Madam, Madhuri madam.
Yeah.
Madhuri madam, I'm
Yes.
Jayshankar.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Can I just inquire on small information?
Sure, sure.
Your surname Kalidindi. I
Yes.
know one of my ex principal, Professor Basivireddy Garu.
Okay.
Kalidindi Sadasiva Venkata Basivireddy. His name is KSV Basivireddy. So,
Okay.
in any way, are you related to Professor Basivireddy?
No, I'm not aware of that person.
Probably you are hail from Guntur district also. Ongole or
Actually, yeah, parents are from West Godavari.
Yes. That surname is familiar, madam.
Yeah.
One of my principal when I joined as assistant professor long time back in 90s.
Okay.
He was his surname is same like Kalidindi Sadasiva Venkata Basivireddy. His full name. Okay. Nice, madam. Nice meeting. Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Thanks again for the opportunity. Thanks a lot, and all the students, good luck, and come out with flying colors, because I think the world and the society needs you. So we are just looking for the next generation and all empowered. And along with you, just make sure you're empowering the women in the society as well. That's the keynote. Thanks.
Exactly, madam. We are doing that. We are doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madhuri.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ramanamurthy Garu. Thanks a lot for the opportunity, everybody. Bye.
We need your
Take care.
support. We need your
Yeah,
support, madam. Kindly please help us, madam.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for
you, madam.
participation today, and see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam.
Krishnaska ma'am, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, HOD sir.
Thank you, Harry.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gausia.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Gosha, thank you very much. You are well done.
Thank you, sir.
SP Saab. SP ji.
Yeah, done.
Tomorrow what time? Tomorrow what time it will start? SP ji.
Harlila, ma'am.
Harlila madam.
Sir, shall we end the meeting?
Yeah, we shall. We'll end. We close it. Please close the meeting. Screen వచ్చారండి సురేంద్ర వచ్చాడు. ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇవ్వాలి కొంచెం ఉండమని